It was a crisp autumn morning in a small town. The streets were quiet, and leaves danced gently in the cool breeze. People hurried along the sidewalks, lost in their own thoughts and routines. Among them walked Emma, a young woman carrying a small basket of fresh bread. She had baked the bread herself, intending to give it to a neighbor who had been unwell. The neighbor, Mr. Harris, lived just a few houses down the street. Emma approached his house and placed the bread on the doorstep. She knocked lightly on the door but received no answer. A smile spread across her face as she imagined him enjoying the warm bread. Turning to leave, she noticed an elderly man struggling with his grocery bags across the street. Without hesitation, she crossed over to help him. Together, they carried the heavy bags to his doorstep. The man looked at her with gratitude, his eyes moist with appreciation. Emma simply nodded and wished him a good day before continuing on her way. As she walked, she passed a small park where children played. One little boy had dropped his favorite toy near a puddle, and it was soaking wet. Emma bent down, picked up the toy, and dried it with a cloth she carried in her bag. The boy's face lit up, and he ran back to his friends with the toy in hand. Emma's heart felt light as she watched him play. Further down the street, a woman struggled to calm her crying baby while balancing shopping bags. Emma offered a gentle smile and held the baby for a moment, soothing it with soft movements. The woman's shoulders relaxed, and she whispered a silent thank you before heading into a nearby cafe. Emma continued her walk, feeling an unexpected warmth from the simple acts she had performed. She entered a small local cafe to rest for a while. The barista, a young man with a tired expression, greeted her reluctantly. Emma smiled and ordered a cup of tea, striking up a brief conversation about the weather. The barista's eyes brightened, and he laughed softly at a small joke she made. When she left, she noticed he was moving with more energy behind the counter. Outside, a stray dog approached her cautiously, looking hungry and wary. Emma reached into her bag and pulled out a small piece of bread. The dog sniffed it carefully before eating it, wagging its tail in gratitude. A few pedestrians noticed the scene and smiled at the simple display of care. Continuing down the lane, Emma passed a young man sitting alone on a park bench. He held a sketchbook, staring at the blank pages with frustration. Emma stopped and gently placed the flower she had picked from the garden in his notebook. The gesture seemed to spark something within him, and he began to draw with renewed inspiration. Emma walked on, feeling the ripple of kindness she had left behind. Across town, Mr. Harris opened his door and discovered the warm bread waiting for him. He had been feeling lonely and unwell, but the simple act of receiving bread lifted his spirits. He took a bite, savoring the warmth and care baked into every slice. The elderly man she had helped with groceries shared the story with his neighbor. Soon, a chain reaction of gratitude and joy began to spread throughout the neighborhood. Neighbors started greeting each other with smiles, small acts of help, and thoughtful gestures. The barista at the cafe felt motivated to offer free coffee to someone in need. The little boy proudly showed his dried toy to his parents, inspiring them to volunteer at a local shelter. Even the young man with the sketchbook completed a beautiful painting which he donated to a community center. Emma herself did not realize the full extent of the impact her actions had created. She returned home that evening, tired but content, reflecting on the day. Every small gesture she had offered seemed insignificant on its own. Yet together, they had created a wave of warmth that reached far beyond her imagination. She sat by her window, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. Her heart was full of quiet satisfaction, knowing that even small acts could make a meaningful difference. In the days that followed, the town felt lighter, happier, and more connected. People held doors open for strangers, shared smiles, and offered help whenever they could. Emma noticed the subtle changes in the town and felt a deep sense of fulfillment. One evening, as she walked through the park, she saw the young boy playing with his toy again. His laughter was infectious, spreading to others around him. The elderly man waved to her from his porch, smiling broadly. Mr. Harris invited her in for tea, grateful for the kindness she had shown. The barista at the cafe had decorated the counter with flowers, inspired by Emma's smile. Even the stray dogs she had fed now wandered happily, cared for by neighbors who had noticed Emma's actions. Emma realized that kindness was not about recognition or reward. It was about the simple intention to make someone's day a little brighter. Each small act, no matter how minor it seemed, carried the power to inspire hope. She understood that the ripple of kindness could extend far beyond the original gesture. A smile given, a hand offered, a toy dried, a loaf of bread shared, each became a thread connecting the community. Emma's heart swelled with gratitude, not just for the impact she had made, but for the opportunity to witness it. The town had become a tapestry of small gestures, woven together by the care and thoughtfulness of its residents. She walked home under the soft glow of streetlights, feeling a profound sense of peace. Even the quietest actions could resonate in ways one could never predict. Emma smiled to herself, knowing that a day of small kindnesses could indeed change the course of many lives. And in that realization, she found a joy that no material possession could ever offer. The gift of kindness, she discovered, was both a seed and a beacon, capable of lighting the darkest corners of the world. Each morning, she continued her simple acts of care, confident in the knowledge that even the smallest gesture could ripple outward to create extraordinary change. Emma's story became a quiet reminder for the town. Every person had the power to brighten someone else's day. And sometimes that was enough to transform not just a single moment, but an entire community.